In this video we will be reviewing the late 2011 Apple MacBook Pro. This is a base model 13-inch version which has an Intel Core i5-2430M processor clocked at 2.4 GHz, and this supports hyper-threading, which allows it to run 4 simultaneous threads. It also has 4 GB of RAM and a 500 GB hard drive. On the right hand side of the system we have a DVD burner, which Apple call a super drive, as well as a Kensington lock slot. On the front of the system we have a simple dip allowing you to open the screen, as well as a light here which can barely be seen when it's not illuminated, but this lights up when the system is in sleep, as well as an infrared sensor from the remote. On the left of the machine we have a nice feature here which consists of a button with a row of LEDs which, when pressed, illuminates the LEDs to show the battery level. Here we have a headphone port, an SD card reader, a pair of USB 2.0 ports, a Thunderbolt port, which is Apple's new high-speed I/O port, which also allows connection of a monitor via a mini display port. So if you want to connect most DVI or VGA monitors, you'll need an adapter for that, however they are very cheap. There's also a FireWire 800 port, Ethernet and MagSafe charging. If you've never seen a MagSafe charging port before, it's designed so that the charger is held in magnetically and will disconnect very easily if the cable is tripped or tugged on hard, preventing damage to the system. Here we can see the charger for the MacBook Pro, which is a very good design. Here we have a connection for the plug, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. A nice long cable, which in the end has a MagSafe connection for connecting to the laptop, as well as 2 useful tabs here that can be used to wrap the cable round to keep it neat. These ends I was talking about can be changed for different countries. In the box you will receive the ones for the country you purchased the machine in. So here we have the travel plug that you get, and you also get a long extension cable for use when you're not near a socket. These simply connect on by pushing the little notch into here and sliding them straight on to give you the charger. I do however have one complaint about this charger, and that is the fact that the travel connection is not earthed, whereas the long cable is earthed. As can be seen in these pictures, the long cable has a metal terminal which allows connection to the charger in order to ground it. This terminal does not exist on the travel charger. Not being grounded means that if you have this connected to the laptop, if you run your hand across a bare metal part of the laptop, it can feel a bit tingly, which is annoying if you're leaning on the keyboard trying to type. This means that I find myself using the long cable most of the time, which is a bit of a pain to carry around, as this would be a lot more convenient. However, because they haven't included a simple bit metal there, it makes it very difficult to use this without having to get that irritating tingly sensation when you run your hand across the laptop. And now we will open up the laptop and see what we get inside. So here we have the latch, and Apple have weighted this very carefully so you can open the laptop with one hand without having to hold the bottom of the laptop down, which is really nice, just a really nice touch. And here we see the nice large 13-inch screen. Here we find the fantastic chiclet style keyboard, which is a very nice keyboard to type on. Keys are well spaced and feel very good when pressing them down. They've got a very nice tactile feel, they're nice and quiet, and they feel very accurate. And I find I can type extremely accurately on this keyboard. In my opinion, it's one of the best laptop keyboards available. Along the top, we have a row of function keys. These by default take the action that they're assigned, such as brightness and playback controls. In order to use them as function keys such as F1 up to F12, you have to hold down the FN key and then press them. There's also an eject key here for the optical drive, and your caps lock key has a built-in LED to indicate when caps lock is activated. This is also very well designed, where there's a slight delay when you press this when you want to activate caps lock. So if you accidentally hit it, you're not going to open caps lock. Instead you have to hold it down for a split second before it will enable. This works extremely well. One very irritating problem I find with Apple's keyboards in the UK is that they put the pound sign in place of a hash sign, which I find extremely frustrating, as in order to put a hash sign you need to press Option and then press 3, which is extremely irritating if you do a lot of programming which requires a lot of hash signs put in. It's a minor complaint and you soon get used to it, but I do personally prefer having a dedicated hash key there. In my opinion, the touchpad in this laptop is the best touchpad I have ever used. It's a very large area, as you can see, compared to my hand, and it's made of glass, which means it makes an extremely smooth, frictionless surface to work with. The whole bottom half of this touchpad is a button, so the whole pad clicks down, and if you want to right click on it, you can set it so you can click in the bottom right hand corner to right click. This isn't enabled by default, but can simply be changed in the preferences. The touchpad in this laptop also contains a wide range of gestures, such as 2-finger scrolling, as well as 5-finger pinch, which allows you to show the desktop, go back to what you were working on, or doing it the other way will show Launchpad. You can also swipe with 2 fingers between panels here to see different pages, pinch back out again to see what you're working on before, and use 4 fingers to swipe between dashboard and your desktop. You can also do 4 fingers up to show the mission control, and pull 4 fingers down to show all the windows in the program you're currently working on. Once you get used to these gestures, it makes it extremely simple to navigate the machine. By default, you click the whole touchpad down to click. However, you can set it so with tap to click enabled, so you can simply tap to the touchpad to click. This touchpad also by default comes with natural scrolling enabled, which basically means that you push up on the touchpad to move the content of the page up, rather than pushing up to move the content of the page down. It sounds unusual as it's the opposite from other touchpads, however you soon get used to it. I personally do not like this when using an external mouse, and unfortunately the settings are the same depending on the touchpad or the mouse, so I continuously find myself having to go in system preferences and changing this depending on whether I'm using a touchpad or an external mouse. So I would like to see it so it could detect what's connected and switch accordingly. However, on the touchpad, natural scrolling works really well, and it's an extremely fluid experience. As far as performance, this laptop is lightning quick. Even the base model has no problems coping with high-end video editing in Final Cut Pro that I do on here, and has coped well with any task I've thrown at it. In fact, I can't see any reason for me personally to upgrade to a more expensive i7 based model. I do lots of advanced video editing in Final Cut Pro, as well as lots of programming in Java and PHP, with no problems whatsoever. The only issue is that for games you've not got dedicated graphics, so it can lag a little bit in them. In order to get dedicated graphics though, you have to go up to a 15 or 17 inch version. The 13 inch has Intel HD graphics only. The battery life on this laptop is very good. As you can see here, the battery is quite low, yet still has 1 hour 2 minutes remaining. I find that even under fairly heavy use with the screen brightness up full, I can still get about 5 hours battery out of this. And if I'm careful and turn the brightness down, turn off things like Wi-Fi that I'm not using, I can easily get 7 hours out of it. And even under extremely intensive tasks such as video editing, I can still get a good couple of hours, which is really good for a laptop. And I find that I'm never running for a charger, I'm never finding myself really running low on battery like I found with previous laptops. The screen on this laptop is very good quality. Colours are extremely vibrant and the picture is very sharp. The 13-inch model has a 16:10 aspect ratio at a resolution of 1280 by 800, which is okay for most use. However, if you're viewing a lot of programs, you may consider connecting an external monitor or going up to a bigger version. By default across the whole range, you get a glossy screen. However, on the 17-inch and 15-inch models, you can opt for an anti-glare screen. However, the 13-inch is stuck always with a glossy screen. For most uses this is fine. However, if the screen is on low brightness or off, it becomes basically into a mirror, as you can see here. Under most use the screen is absolutely fine. However, if you do plan on using it outside, I do recommend you either invest in the bigger model with an anti-glare screen, or at least get some sort of anti-glare screen cover, as bright light shining on it does become very distracting. Sound quality through the internal speakers on this laptop is okay. It's fine for listening to a little bit of music, watching a video, or just listening to the system sounds. However, if you plan on doing a lot of music, you may want to invest in a set of external speakers, as they don't have much bass, as you'll hear now. So So as you can hear, the sound quality is okay. There is a subwoofer in this machine, however it doesn't really make much difference. The sound doesn't have that much bass to it. However, it's fairly clear, so there's no real problem with the speakers in this. Just if you want to listen to a lot of music, I advise you maybe getting a set of external speakers for it. At the top of the screen, we have a built-in FaceTime HD camera, an indicator LED. This camera is very good quality, as you'll see now in this sample video taken. Here we have a sample video being recorded with the FaceTime HD camera built into the Apple MacBook Pro. As you can see, quality in good lighting is very good. However, in low lighting the picture quickly becomes grainy, so you need to make sure you have good lighting. As you can also hear the sound quality from the internal microphone, which is also fairly good quality. One so-called feature that Apple put into this camera is flipping the image to make it look as though you're looking in a mirror. However, this is annoying if you're displaying text, as you can see here, text is inverted on the screen. And I cannot find an option on how to change this, which is a bit frustrating if you're looking to film stuff that has text in it. However, you could obviously flip the image in post-production, but I can't see a way to do it by default within the camera. Overall, this is a fantastic laptop. Build quality is excellent, and coupled with the very good screen, keyboard and touchpad, it makes a very nice all-round laptop. And it's not lacking in power either, as this laptop has flown perfectly through even fairly advanced video editing tasks, and is very quick at opening applications and doing normal day-to-day use. So overall, this is a fantastic laptop. So thanks for watching, don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe, and you can also visit our website at review-this.org, and if you have any questions about this laptop, feel free to leave a comment and we'll try and reply as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.